Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome if you're new to my channel. Hi, my name's Anissa, the online English teacher, and today we are starting a deep dive into sentence structures. But before we can do that, we've got to really investigate what phrases are. Then we're going to compare them to clauses, and then we're going to use these phrases and clauses to form complex sentences. Why? Why are we doing this? Well, first of all, it's really going to improve your comprehension, especially if you enjoy reading more academic style texts such as articles from The Guardian, The Times, Forbes. They use some really nice sentence structures. You might still be a student if you're doing research for your master's, your PhD. You're going to encounter some very in-depth texts that you need to understand completely. And if you're doing any type of language exam like IELTS or CAE, FCE, then this is what the examiners are looking for. So it's going to help you level up your own writing as well. Very useful. Now, you might think that this is a really easy topic. There are only 4 different sentence structures in English, but we really do need to know the clauses and phrases before we can get to the structures. So in this video, I'm going to introduce the first 5 main types of phrases in English. We're going to look at lots of examples from an academic and also business contexts. And then at the end, I've got a little quiz for you guys to see if you've really grasped the idea of them. So if you're ready, let's get started. So what is a phrase? Well, technically, a phrase is just a group of words that replace one single part of speech. Remember, a part of speech is what we call a noun, a verb, an adjective, and so on. So the key point here is that a phrase does not have a subject and a verb. It cannot stand alone. It has to be connected to something else in order to form a complete sentence. For example, in the morning. Okay, what happened in the morning? Or running fast. Okay, who was running fast? So it doesn't have all the information that we need to make a full sentence. But we do naturally use these when we're answering questions. For example, the salad is delicious. Where did you buy the cheese? From the market. So it is a very natural way to answer questions. It's not good because you're not practicing your full sentence structure, but it is what we say naturally. But that question, what is a phrase, is actually a trick question because there are several types of phrases, each serving different functions in a sentence. So we could have a noun replaced by a noun phrase, an adjective replaced by an adjective phrase. Right, let's take a look at the first one in more detail. And we're going to start with a noun phrase, which is a group of words that can replace a noun in a sentence. For example, books are expensive. What's the noun? Books. Is it a noun phrase? Well, no, not really. It's just one word. It's a noun. But we could add something to it, and it could be something very simple, such as a determiner, and then it would become a noun phrase. So, my books are expensive. The books are expensive. Those books are expensive. These books are expensive. So just adding one little thing can change it into a noun phrase. Of course, nouns can be subjects or objects in a sentence, and the same is true for a noun phrase. So, university students have to buy a lot of expensive books. Wait a minute, I've actually got 2 different noun phrases here. I'm not just saying students, they are university students. So that noun is actually two parts. So it's a noun phrase. And the second noun phrase is a lot of expensive books. So now that you've got the concept of a phrase consisting of a group of words, let's look at the different types of phrases in both academic and business contexts. So we've said that a noun phrase is a group of words that function as a noun in the sentence. And we can find these in a range of different contexts. For instance, in an academic example, you might have the increasing pollution levels. Now, think about how you might use this in an IELTS essay. The increasing pollution levels in urban areas pose a significant threat to public health and environmental sustainability. Lovely. But how many noun phrases are there in that one sentence? We talked about the increasing pollution levels, so that's one. But how many other noun phrases can you find? If you start looking at it in more detail, you'll find that we have many noun phrases in all of the sentences we use. The increasing pollution levels. Okay, but technically it's the increasing pollution levels in urban areas. So that's really another noun phrase. What kind of threat? A significant threat. That's another noun phrase. It's not health, it's public health. So another noun phrase. And environmental sustainability. They're separated by that conjunction and, but it's a separate noun phrase. So we've got lots of noun phrases in just one normal sentence. Let's take a look at a business example now. So we could talk about a report and we could extend that to make it a noun phrase and say the quarterly financial report. And if we put that into a sentence, the quarterly financial report provides comprehensive insights into the company's financial performance and market trends. There are lots of different noun phrases in here. What type of insights? Comprehensive insights. What type of performance? The company's financial performance. What type of trends? Market trends. So, anytime you have more than one word as that noun, it's a noun phrase. Now, moving on to verbs, we have, of course, the verb phrase, which is just a group of words that are functioning as the main verb and any modifiers, complements that go along with that. They are giving more detail, more information about the action. For example, is being rapidly addressed. Oh, this is really nice because it is a passive form of the verb. Or has been conducting market research. Now, you might think, wait a minute, Anissa, market research is the noun. Yes, it is the noun, but it is directly connected to that verb. So it's a noun phrase that is inside a verb phrase. Ooh. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. Example 1. The issue of climate change is being rapidly addressed by governments worldwide, reflecting a growing awareness of environmental concerns. So, if we just focus on that one verb phrase we talked about, you can see how it is inside this full, very nice sentence. And in a more business-related context, the company has been conducting market research to identify new opportunities for expansion in international markets. Now, you definitely do not need to have such long sentences like this. Remember, in a sentence in English, we only need a subject, a verb, and the object or complement. the blah, blah, blah at the end of it. So I've got a challenge for you. Can you take these verb phrases and put them in full sentences? They do not need to be long and beautiful. They just need to be correct. So pause this video and see if you can do it. Okay, did you do it? Now, I'm sure some of you didn't pause the video and do anything. Some of you might have just written some very simple sentences, which is fantastic. And maybe a few of you went and really tried to extend those sentences and give me really complex ideas. So let's take a look at mine because I went for the easy option. Is considering a new strategy? Well, I identified that we've already got the verb and the object, so I just needed to add a subject. The marketing department is considering a new strategy. Or in example number 2, Bob, thanks Bob. Bob has been working on the project. Well, I really like the present perfect and I wanted to emphasize that this is still in progress. So I could add since the beginning, since he started working here, since its kickoff. So just a nice little time clause to indicate that. So compare what you wrote to my simple sentences. The company will launch the product next month. We must complete the assignment before the deadline. AI can solve complex problems quickly. My colleagues were waiting for the client when he called to cancel. Now, that's quite important that you did give me another action there because we had that past continuous. So I want to know what cut that action, what interrupted it. Or you could have given me a specific time. My colleagues were waiting for the client at 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. That would have worked as well. I might attend the conference. That was nice and easy, just needed one little subject. The manager should have reviewed the proposal more carefully, but they didn't. Bob had been running the meeting smoothly until what happened? Until an unexpected issue was brought up. And the last one, the company is planning to expand the business internationally. So you could have made those very difficult. You could have made them nice and easy. The point is that we just needed to have a subject, that verb phrase, and some type of complement or object at the end of it. Now let's take a closer look at adjectives and of course adjective phrases, which is a group of words functioning as an adjective. So does this sentence contain an adjective phrase? My neighbor is growing delicious strawberries. No, it doesn't, because there is only one adjective describing the strawberries. They are delicious. So it is not a phrase, it's a single adjective. But if I added something to that and said, my neighbor is growing extremely delicious strawberries, well, now there's an adjective phrase because I've got extremely delicious describing those strawberries. Now we can break down the sentence and say that it starts off with a noun phrase because I'm talking about my neighbor. So 2 words, it's a noun phrase. And then we've got a verb phrase. Is growing extremely delicious strawberries. But inside that verb phrase, we've got a noun phrase. Extremely delicious strawberries. And inside the noun phrase, we've got an adjective phrase, extremely delicious. Now, do I expect you to analyze all your sentences like this? No, of course not. But this is what happens when a teacher corrects your sentence and says, well, it doesn't sound right. It's probably because there is an error with one of your phrases inside the overall sentence. So, another challenge for you, I would like you to pause this video and to try to find the adjective phrases in these two example sentences. Good luck. Did you find the adjective phrases? So, in the IELTS example, a significantly higher percentage of teenagers went to the cinema in 2010 compared to adults, at 45% and 19% respectively. So we are describing that percentage and we're using the adjective higher, but then we're describing the adjective and saying significantly higher. So because we've got two parts to that adjective, it is now an adjective phrase. And what about the second example? The implementation of the new marketing strategy proved to be highly profitable for the company, resulting in increased revenue. Okay, so we've got that revenue, it's increased revenue. There's only one adjective there, so it's not an adjective phrase. Proved to be profitable. How profitable? Highly profitable. So here we do have an adjective phrase because highly is modifying that adjective profitable. Are there any others? Strategy. A new marketing strategy. Wait, that's not an adjective phrase because we can say it is a marketing strategy. It is a new strategy, but it's not new marketing. No, that doesn't make sense. So those are two separate adjectives, both modifying the noun. They're not modifying each other. So in this case, not an adjective phrase. So hopefully you found those adjective phrases, and now we're going to look at adverb phrases. And you guessed it, it's a group of words that function as an adverb. Now, we're getting a little bit more complex here because adverbs can do different things. Adverbs modify verbs, but they also modify adjectives and they also modify other adverbs. So there are more possibilities of places we can use this form. Now, let's take a look at the topic of obesity, which is very common on the IELTS exams. So, the implementation of comprehensive public health initiatives can significantly reduce obesity rates in communities over time. So here we do have an adverb phrase, and it's actually an adverb that's modifying the verb. So, find the verb. Can reduce. Reduce, that's our verb. So now we're modifying that and saying significantly reduce. It's an adverb phrase. What about the next one? Students who engage in regular, focused study sessions tend to improve their academic performance remarkably quickly. Have you found it? So we have got two ly words at the end, remarkably quickly. So here we've got one adverb modifying another adverb. So that is our adverb phrase. And a couple more general business examples. The study's findings were unusually well received by the academic community, indicating the significance of its contributions to the field of environmental science. And the last one. The team performed exceptionally well in the previous quarter, owing in part to the implementation of the new software, which has improved productivity across the board. Okay, so we've got lots of examples here of how an adverb is modifying other words, and together we're calling them an adverb phrase. Now, I'm just going to go on a little tangent for a moment and talk about the difference between good and well, because some people out there really think that well is just a more formal, a better way of saying good. And it's not. They are two totally different parts of speech. Good is an adjective. Well is an adverb. So if you are describing an action, a verb, you're going to say, I do something well. How do I do it? I do it well. Hey, Anissa, how did your interview go? It went well. It went really well. It went exceptionally well. So it is an adverb plus another adverb. It's an adverb phrase, exceptionally well. But if we're describing a noun, for example, the team's performance in the previous quarter was exceptionally good. I cannot use well in that sentence. It would be wrong because I'm describing the noun. So please be careful. Good and well, they're great words, but they are very different parts of speech. Next up, we have got prepositions. So, of course, everybody recognizes a preposition. We've got lots of them: in, on, at, with, for, by, among, between, above, below. Lots of them. So here, I'm going to give you pairs of sentences, and I'd like you to pause the video and find the prepositional phrases. Remember, a prepositional phrase, just like the other phrases, is going to have a preposition and other words together. So, see if you can do the first one. Did you find it? So, many technological advancements were made during the Industrial Revolution. Important decisions are often made during the Thursday meeting. So we've got our preposition here. It's a preposition of time, during, and then during what? During the Industrial Revolution, during the Thursday meeting. So we've got that group of words, prepositional phrase. Let's take a look at the next pair of sentences. So right at the beginning, we have got despite. Despite the challenges in developing nations, despite the challenges of the pandemic. They're not full clauses because they don't have a subject and a verb. So here we're calling them a prepositional phrase. Okay, the last pair of sentences. See if you can find the prepositional phrases in these. Pause and think. Okay, in the first one, in the current economic climate, there's our first prepositional phrase. Governments worldwide are facing the challenge of balancing economic growth with environmental sustainability. There's our second prepositional phrase. And the last one. In light of the recent economic downturn, our company is focusing on cost-cutting measures through renegotiation of contracts with suppliers and the streamlining of operational processes. Now, I hope you're realizing that we've got lots of different prepositions and you can identify lots of prepositional phrases. Then the prepositional phrases are inside other phrases. And this is why it can get really confusing when you have longer sentences, which is why they are considered to be a higher level and they are more impressive when you're in any type of language exam. All right, now it's time for a little quiz. And of course, if you've got any questions or you want to share the sentences that you've come up with, then please put them in the comments section and I'm happy to take a look at them. So let's get ready for a quiz. So here are 5 phrases, and I've already labeled them for you. We've got a noun phrase, innovations in renewable energy technology. A verb phrase, has revolutionized various industries. An adjective phrase, incredibly innovative. An adverb phrase, almost always. And a prepositional phrase, in cutting edge research and development. So now I would like you to match these different phrases to these sentences. They're all on the same topic of technology, so you've got to think about the sentence structure to decide where the phrases are going to go. Pause this video, think about it. Good luck. Okay, so hopefully your answers match my answers. In the first sentence, we needed to have an adverb here. So, engineers seek ways to do something. How do they seek? Well, engineers almost always seek. So I'm actually modifying this with an adverb of frequency. In the second one, the company's approach. All right, so we are describing this approach. I'm going to need an adjective, and let's put an adjective phrase. The company's incredibly innovative approach to product development has revolutionized the industry. Number 3, I'm missing a subject at the start of this sentence, so it has to be a noun. Innovations in renewable energy technology are essential for combating climate change. In the next one, companies often invest. Aha! Now we always invest in something, so they invest heavily in cutting edge research and development. And the last one, I've got that subject at the beginning, the development of artificial intelligence. So now, according to English, subject, verb, object, I need that verb. And the verb phrase is has revolutionized various industries. Whew. How did you do? Now, I really, really want to stress that you do not need to know all of these grammatical terms. You can speak English very fluently without knowing that, ooh, that's a prepositional phrase. However, it definitely helps you when you start building more complex sentences, then it's going to help you identify where the errors are in your sentences and why the errors are there. So, if you have enjoyed this video or at least found it useful, please give me a like. And if you're curious about other types of phrases, then please make sure you have subscribed because that is going to be my next video. See you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye, guys.